Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Let's talk about Brooklyn for a minute. Brooklyn and Link. Ugh. I gotta be honest, sometimes it's actually pretty difficult to watch the scenes with Link in Brooklyn because when he starts getting all handsy, it just makes me feel uncomfortable watching. Like, I can't imagine how that is for a woman to be sitting there watching that. Like, it makes me feel uncomfortable just watching every time he starts touching her and stuff like that. And it's like in my head, I'm just like, how do you get to a position in life where that type of behavior is like normal to you? That's like grieving. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And it's just uncomfortable to watch. Long story short, Brooklyn signs the contract with Link. And I'm just like, well, was that really worth getting your songs back? Like, was signing that contract really worth your soul? Knowing that you've been through, with him and knowing that he's going to do that to the next girl and knowing how that feels, those songs was really worth it. I, I, I don't even know what to sit there and say. It's like, you are literally a traitor. There's no other way to sit there and put it. You are literally a traitor to every other woman that comes after you with dealing with him. Now, at some point, because, Chase is sitting there looking at the situation and he wants to sit there and pop his head off. Blaze is like, it's not a good idea. And I'm sitting there looking like, bro, I don't know if you're ready to be a cop. I really don't. Because you still seem like you have that same temper. And don't get me wrong, it is a scene that does make your blood boil. But see, that's the difference between somebody like me and somebody that has a badge. Because somebody that has a badge, you hold them to a higher standard. But yet, it's like you just raise it there and just start popping off. Like you can't do that, So you got that going on. And he walks over there. He's like, hey, what's going on? And Brooklyn's like, oh, I signed the paper. So Blaze and Link go off to the side and he starts getting on hands, and that's just a whole different level of a creep factor. So Chase asked Brooklyn, what did you have to give up in return for yourself? What does Brooklyn does? Brooklyn does what Brooklyn always does. Lies. Lies. And this is one of those things where it's like, even if they do start to get back together, the minute that Chase finds out that Brooklyn is lying to her again, I'm like, bro. This is one of those things where it's like, bro, if you choose to go back out with her, okay? Because how many times did Brooklyn lie to Chase at this point? I've lost count. I know it was more than once. Okay, so if he chooses to go back out with her, he starts getting all morally outraged. I'm like, bro, stop going out with this chick sitting there thinking that she's going to change, thinking that she's just going to be different. Because that's just not going to happen, you know? So, of course, she lies. And then, he's like, I want to stay in it, not just for myself, but for, taking out Link. And, this way another woman doesn't have to sit there and deal with somebody like him. So they all get back together and he toasts and everything like that. And, Brooklyn was looking a little kind of worried and concerned. And I'm just like, Brooklyn, I don't even know what to say to you today. I just don't. It's just, once again, I was like, Brooklyn, you find a way to sit there and just have me lose even more respect for you. Don't get me wrong. There's times where I've had respect for her when it came towards the Bailey situation. But this whole song thing is like ridiculous. And it's beyond ridiculous. It's actually a little bit kind of selfish at this point. Knowing that you've been through with him and you decide, you know what, my song is more important than, you know, the other woman that's going to come before me. I don't. Whatever. Let's just move on. The scenes with Trina and TJ were just an utter waste. Now, at this point, I know that some people got to be there because of contract purposes, and that's pretty much all that scene was. All they sat there and did was talk about Spencer. She was worried about him. He talked about his time with Molly. I really didn't care, and pretty much life just goes on at this point. They didn't do anything. They were just there, and that was about it. That was literally the extent of their scene. Yeah, I would actually, and the sad thing is that I would actually care if they bothered to give TJ and Molly a story. Now, I don't know what's going on with the actress. Okay? I don't know what's going on with the actress. But it's kind of a shame. I think like maybe 2 years ago when they were doing their non-wedding or whatever crap they want to call it, they gave them an interesting storyline. Of course, there was a time I was really annoyed with Sam and the way that she handled it, which was extremely bad. But it gave her a storyline. Especially with the whole judge and everything like that. And they gave her stuff to do. They gave him stuff to do. Now it's like the dude was just coming in. Oh yeah, Spencer when he was growing up and he was very privileged and this, that, and the third, and you know something about him protecting himself or some crap like that. It's like this is the best that they get this guy doing now. Like really? Mason threatens Ava, and Austin's like, don't do that, this, that, and third, and in the end, it didn't really seem like it worked. I'm just going to be honest. It didn't really seem like it worked. He seemed like he was still going to go after Ava. And so Austin tried to give Ava a heads up. That's really all that scene really came down to. Nicholas tells Ava everything. And I don't know why. I really did not understand why he told her about Esme and, the whole thing with Liz. It wasn't true. I don't really get that. Like, why now? Like, I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm just like, this doesn't really seem like it makes a lot of sense. Like, why now? And granted, you watch the episode, you know what happens. He threatens, there's one point where he seemed like he's trying to get through to her. Like, oh, that one time, was the only time that, I cheated on you. The other time I lied. It was just that one time. I was like, oh, just that one time that you cheated on her. Well, that should just make it be okay. It was only that one time that he knocked this girl off. But the other thing, now she seemed like it started to work. She started, tearing up and everything like that. He was like, nah, now you're sitting there trying to take my unborn child. So we can't have whatever I was just sitting there talking about because of what you did. He was like, you know what? I'm going to take your child away. And he threatens to sit there and take Avery away. Like, yo, I got Uncle Victor. I got his resources. We're gonna make that happen. But don't worry, I'll make sure I'll tell her that you said hi. And he walks off, and she's like, nah, that's not gonna work out. So she picks up the biggest object she can find. Boom, round ahead. Ava is definitely no joke, and there are Ava Jerome women out there that will not sit there and take that crap. Um, I couldn't be with a woman like Ava. I really couldn't because I like my sleep and my peace of mind and not looking over my shoulders. Anyway, dude's on the floor, and you see the previews. She sees a lot of blood, so who knows what's gonna wind up going on with that. Spencer, well, Laura's not there trying to talk some sense into Spencer. Also says what pretty much every other person has been sitting there saying: you're not mature enough to handle a child because you are still a child yourself. When was the last time you cooked your own meal? When was the last time you changed a diaper? Oh, it's going to be like 8 or 9 months away. I'll figure all that stuff out on the fly. You're gonna figure stuff out on the fly. It's like a code word for I'm gonna hire a nanny to take care of all that stuff that I don't want to feel like doing. But don't worry, I'll rock you to sleep and talk to you, and then I'll hand you to the nanny and have her do all that stuff that I'm just not really equipped or really want to sit there and learn how to do. Like I said, he's a child himself. He's still figuring stuff out. Laura tries to plead with him, and Spencer's pretty much like he's a lost cause. So after literally trying for a good hour, she just kind of walks off and's like, I should have raised Nicholas myself. And, or something along those lines. And that's that thing I was like, or I should have stayed on Spoon Island. I was like, well, why didn't you? Why didn't you? I don't fully understand the backstory of that, but, I mean, you came into his life now. At this point, the damage is already done. You can't sit there and undo years of time that you could have guided this man to be a great man, like, I don't know, you wanted him to be. Or like Lucky, I don't know. She's doing her best, but you're kind of a couple of years a little bit too late. But she walks off. Finn tries to convince Liz to not turn herself in. She feels all guilty. And, Finn is like, well, we're still friends. She's like, after everything I put you through, everything, I lied to you. And at first I was like, she did lie to him. So I thought they were like friends. Friends? You want to be friends? That was just my knee-jerk reaction. And I've thought about the time that she was there for him. So I understand he wants to sit there and be there for her. But, what she said was true. Secrets have a way of coming out. They always do. It's just a matter of time. Now, Finn tried to get her to chill out by saying, hey, listen, you go to jail. What do you think Cam's going to do? Cam's going to sit there and drop out of school. He's going to be sitting there raising these children even more. He don't want to do that to Cam. Like, he was sitting there trying to use all the different tactics in the world, trying to make sure that she kept her mouth shut. Just up. But she said she would sleep on it, and so I guess we'll just wait and see about that one. I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't really think of anything else let me just double check my notes. Yep, that's it. That's all I can really think of. I can't really sit there and think of anything else. I'm just laughing because I'm looking at it. It was like 13 minutes. I was like, man, I was gonna end this video in 14 minutes because I am superstitious. I do follow certain things that is very superstitious. Because I'm trying to think, what can I talk about for the next 30 seconds? Oh, if you want to be a member, join. $4.99. I just dropped a couple of videos. I actually made some videos this weekend for my members. I'm going to be dropping at least one every week. It's going to be a lot of fun. We also had a really good live stream on Saturday and Sunday. So if you want to be a member, support the channel. It's $4.99, and it's really a lot of fun. Member shout outs, live streams, exclusive videos. So think about it. And I know that it's kind of hard to do on like if you have an iPhone, like I think like if you go to Safari, there's a way to sit there and do that, and you can just like join from that point. Anyway, it's 14 minutes, so I really need to sit there and think of something I could talk about for 30 seconds. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.